Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Creed, the final film in the Rocky franchise to date. And in my personal opinion, one of the best by far. I think as far as acting goes, there is no movie in this series that surpasses this one. I mean, from Sylvester Stallone to Michael B. Jordan to Felicia Rashad, who of course most people know from the Cosby Show, to Tessa Thompson. I mean, across the board, there's just so many fantastic performances. And I've been a big fan of Michael B. Jordan's for quite a while. I mean, Fruitvale Station, he was just absolutely masterful in, even though I didn't necessarily completely love that film. But, I mean, the guy has just got acting skills, charisma coming out as Tookus, if you will. And I just think he's just such an incredible performer. And I just loved the character that he created for this, Apollo Creed's son, Adonis Creed. I drew a blank on his name there for a second, but Adonis Creed, I think, is just such an interesting character. I love how they took him, and he's really, in a lot of ways, just the kind of diametrically opposed to the way they set up the character of Apollo Creed, where he's much more the Rocky in the situation, obviously, which really, really works and sets up the franchise for a whole new era. But it's funny when you think about him being Apollo Creed's son, who came in with all this like bluster and all that kind of stuff, and to have his son Adonis be the exact opposite, while also at the end, you know, kind of tapping into the bravado a little bit too. I just thought was really, really fascinating. I mean, Stallone as Rocky just absolutely killed it. I mean, there's no way I can pretend like there wasn't good reason for him to be up for a lot of awards. I don't know if he necessarily should have won the Oscar. I don't really think he should have. I think it was maybe just a little bit of a tear down, but I thought he just brought so much like charisma and depth to the role, and I think personally it was his best performance bar none in the series. I know a lot of people will probably point to his performance in the first film and say that it might be a little bit higher, and you know, I can completely respect that, and I wouldn't even like argue it necessarily. It's just, for me, I think this one is the one that took the cake, because I think it had a lot more nuance to it, whereas his character in Rocky was a very simplistic role, and it perfectly worked for the story of the film. But this one, he had a lot more wisdom and a lot more just. There was a lot more worry in his face. There was a lot more across the board. You could just read so much more into his emotional range. Whereas the first movie, though fantastic and told such a brilliant story, his performance, just Stallone's performance in specific, was kind of simplistic to a certain degree. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mean simplistic, but you know what I mean, in comparison to this one. I think this movie just absolutely killed it. I love the story. The fighting in it, of course, is fantastic. The performances, I've already mentioned. The director, I mean, just Ryan Coogler just absolutely killed it. I thought he totally could have been up for an Oscar as well. It doesn't really bother me super much that he wasn't. I don't think it was of a caliber that he had to be, but if he was, I would have been completely okay with that too, because I thought he did such a fantastic job. Some of the shots, especially in the actual fight, were just amazing. I really, really dig this movie a lot. I think it was definitely a great way to cap off the franchise if it ended there. I don't think that's going to be the case, because it did very well, both critically and commercially. But if it had ended here, I think it would have been a great capper. So those are my thoughts on Creed. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you're a fan, what you think of my reviews of the franchise, what your ranking of the franchise might be. Anything you want to say, please hit that like button, hit that share button. Makes it much more likely that people might discover my channel that wouldn't otherwise, and I would just absolutely love it if that happened. And finally, please, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I love having people to talk to about movies, and I would love it if you were new here, if you were one of those people. Other than that, have yourself a great day.